Hey everyone, it's Dave, and I'm here with you for a quick tip on how to improve your costuming just a little bit. Let's get started. So the image you're seeing here is an image I finished the other day, and this is going to be part of my Magic the Gathering token set. And this little fire elemental burning skeleton man, while it may be a little gruesome, there's a really good point here. Oftentimes, and I'm guilty of this all of the time, oftentimes people, when they do costuming and designs for props and clothing, they look like they just came out of the costume shop, and the armor looks pristine, the clothing looks completely unworn, there's not a single stitch or hem or tear or stain to be found, and sometimes that works really well for your image and sometimes it absolutely doesn't. So to create the illusion of worn armor in here, I added a bunch of little nicks and dings and dents, and I figured because this guy spends a lot of time in a volcano, he probably gets a lot of embers singeing into the metal or rocks kicking up on him, and he probably fights a lot of guys. So what I recommend you do in this case here, and this is pretty easily illustrated on here, to make armor look a little bit more roughed and weathered, first and foremost, don't over smooth your armor. When you're creating your brush strokes on here with your lighting, you'll notice in here, let me get my highlighter. You notice in here the brush strokes, I left them a little bit loose and jaggy, not to the point where they looked unfinished, but they let the material look a little hand hammered or hand worn, and certainly let the value range do its thing, so it looks fine when you look at it at a glance, but if you zoomed in real close, you'd start to see the brush strokes a little bit more. It actually works to your advantage. The other thing is that all these little dings and divots, one of the great ways of doing this is take your darkest value of shadow from the armor and just create a couple of little dings in there. And I just took dark value and I just blopped that on in there. And then you're going to take the closest, brightest lighting source. You want something that's going to be your highlight from something else, or a very, very close, brighter value than the immediate area. In this case, you'll see like right in here, there's the divot, and then there's the value that actually comes from in the highlight area. So we're going to do something very similar. We're just going to grab, I don't know, here. I'm going to take some of these divots. And the closest, brightest lighting sources is the hand right here. And he's got the hand, it's kind of clutching the fire. And so we're going to take some of these divots and we're going to, on the opposite side of the fire. So the light would be bouncing into the hole or going past over the hole and catching the rim. I'm just going to add some of those little highlights right in there. Over here, since it's a little bit turned away, I'm going to grab a little bit more of this rosier color. Since it's not catching the direct light from that. And that ought to give it a nice good change. It's describing the change in light as it curls over the armor. And there you go. And sometimes I just add little tiny, like smaller divots. So these are more like a medium brown color. And I'll just kind of dot a few areas and create a few lines and wisps, sometimes like a little hash check line. And it's good to change up the direction a little bit here and there, but try to keep the directions somewhat consistent unless you're really describing a deep gouge. So like right here, we may do like this little gouge right here. And I'm gonna take this color nearby and we'll go ahead and let it kind of bleed in there. That way this light here is kind of catching that gouge. Tidy that up a little bit, and that would really help to sell that he has like a crack or a divot cut into the armor. But that's all you do. Use a shadow color and then use an appropriate highlight color from the brightest light source that would catch that first, and create a rim on the opposite side. So as the light comes in, it hits the rim, and that creates that nice little chunky texture in there. Allows your armor to look weathered and worn. So when you zoom out, that's some beat up armor. That looks like a guy that's not only ready for battle, but he's been ready for battle. So anyway, this was just a little quick tip. I hope this is something you find helpful. So don't forget to stain your clothes when you're painting them. Don't forget to beat up your armor when you're putting it in your scene. Chip the edges of blades, all that fun stuff. It really adds a lot of life and a lot of character to your paintings that otherwise you would smooth out and your painting would look a little flat and thin. So hope this helps. Take care. Hope you have a great rest of your day and an even better tomorrow. See you on the next one. Bye. Oh, and don't forget to pick up my free ebook, which don't forget to pick up my free ebook. Oh, don't forget to pick up my free ebook. The link for it is in the description below, along with all my social media details. And while it's still free, you make sure you're using the code ARTCADE at checkout. All the information will be in the description. Hope you enjoy it. Let me know what you think. Take care. Bye.